President Joe Biden spoke recently at the Safer Communities Summit in Connecticut. But before I take issue with some of the things he had to say about guns, I want to let you know we have a super secret giveaway going on. It's happening right now. It's absolutely free, but it does end really soon. So click the link in the description down below to find out what it is you could win. So yes, President Biden was at the Safer Communities Summit in Connecticut, gave a speech, and of course, that turned into a discussion about firearms. He started his talk about guns by saying that many people have described the bipartisan Safer Communities Act as the most significant gun safety law in 30 years.
Instead, I signed into law the Bipartisan Safer Community Act, which you've referenced several times today, which many have described as the most significant gun safety law in 30 years. And it is. But for me, and for most of you, here's what it really is. It's an important first step.
Well, it is significant, but that doesn't mean it's effective at reducing crime, and that doesn't mean everyone agrees with much of what's in the law. We here at the USCCA want to see Congress pass laws that will help reduce crime without infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens. And there are several items in the Safer Communities Act that just don't work for honest, law-abiding gun owners. A little bit later on, the president said that guns are the #1 killer in America, more than car accidents and more than cancer. And we can't just let that become another statistic.
For a long time in America, car accidents were the leading killer of children. This was mentioned earlier. Then in 2020, guns became the #1 killer of children in America. Guns. More than car accidents, more than cancer. Let me say that again. Guns, the #1 killer of children in the United States of America? Folks, it's time once again that we banned AR-15 rifle style weapons.
First, I want to get one thing straight. Statistics can be and often are manipulated. The CDC says accidents are the #1 killer of children in the United States, but that depends on the age group you include in the study. According to a study recently released by the Georgetown Behavioral Hospital, fentanyl is the most common killer, and I quote, "This synthetic opioid has become deadlier than ever." New data analysis from Families Against Fentanyl shows that among Americans aged 18 to 45, fentanyl is the most common killer, above suicide. Now, folks, suicide is the most common cause of death with a firearm, but suicide is a mental health issue, not a gun issue. President Biden then went on to say, let's ban AR-15 style firearms and other assault weapons. Now hold on, folks. The FBI stats show that only 7% of homicides are committed with any kind of rifle at all. Yet the government wants to go after one particular type of rifle because of the way it looks. I agree that rapid mass murder that makes the news in the form of school shootings and other such actions, they're terrible. But there are better ways to stop them than making the most popular rifle in America illegal. The thing that got most people talking about this speech was the president's comment that you put a pistol on a brace and it turns into a gun, and you can have a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun.
Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun. It's essentially turning it into a short barrel rifle, which has been a weapon of choice by a number of mass shooters.
Now, this is just typical of President Biden. Despite holding the most powerful office in the world, he is often confused and inaccurate about firearms. Adding a brace to an AR-style pistol does not change the caliber. It has nothing to do with what comes out of the gun. The brace is placed at the opposite end of the gun. A pistol brace simply makes an AR-style pistol easier to shoot more accurately, and firing a gun accurately makes it safer. Now, according to the new ATF rule, which the House of Representatives is trying to overturn, adding a brace to an AR-style pistol makes it a short-barreled rifle, which is highly regulated. In fact, it is a felony to own one without the proper permits. And let me say that again, short-barreled rifles are legal to own, but you have to have the proper permits. So it doesn't make the gun any more deadly. It just requires more permits, more taxation, more money to get permission to own that gun. The president also said, if this Congress refuses to act, we need a new Congress.
We know what to do. Congress needs to act. Let me be clear about something. If this Congress refuses to act, we need a new Congress.
I don't entirely know what that means, but I do agree with the president on this one. Our Congress is divided. That means we won't see much action on gun control in the near future, certainly not until the presidential election in 2024. But we do need to elect a bunch of new members of Congress. We need to elect people who value the rights and personal freedoms of the citizens of this country and the right for people to defend themselves. We need congressional leaders who will base their decisions on facts, not fears. And our system of government allows us to challenge those leaders and even replace our elected officials if they don't serve our needs.